Truly I say to you, whoever believes in me, the works that I've done, he'll do also. And greater works than these he'll do, because I'm going to the Father. You're going to do more stuff than I've done because I got to go home. And you'll even do greater stuff because I'm going to be raised from the dead and leave. I'm making sense to myself. All right, verse 13. You got to write this down, get you a highlighter. Whatever you ask in my name, that will I do. Jesus speaking, talking to whoever would believe in me. Whatever you'll ask in my name. Now that is by my power of attorney. Whatever you'll ask through my name, I'll see what he gets done. I can preach there all day. You know how you can get some things accomplished financially is by doing it using someone else's name. You know what the term power of attorney means? That's what Jesus is saying. Whatever you ask according to my name, that will I do, so that the Father in heaven may be glorified in me the Son. And if you ask me anything, I will do it. There's only one thing that limits what God does in your life. And Jesus has already explained this. I'm not making this up. Back up to verse 1 and read it. You get the flow. You know what gives you trouble? You know what limits God? Your beliefs. Your beliefs. He's not limited by the power and attorney and power and authority of his name. He's not. That doesn't limit him. What limits him is what you believe. All right. Lord, help me. Give me an example. You would be limited to what you could do through the power of government in your country's government. If the president or the king or the monarch or the democracy or whatever said, okay, come in here. We're giving you the power and authority now to basically run this country. Okay? Next, get out. I mean, you're still wearing the same clothes when you go outside. You're standing there. Go, wow. I've been given power to run this thing. Guess what? You won't. Because you'll start thinking, well, wait a minute. How am I going to? You mean if I just say something, that's how it's going to be? You know what's going to stop that from happening? What's going on in your heart? What's going on in your thinker? What's going on in your believer? Even though maybe they really did give you the power to do things, you'll shut that down by what you can really believe. Once again, I'm having one of those days when I'm basically preaching to myself because I feel like I'm maybe the only one that understands what I'm saying. All right. Verse 15. How many, before I read it, how many commandments did Jesus give you? 10? The 10 commandments?
No.
The 600 law commandments? 2? Love God above everything else. Ready for number 2? People make this one. Love your enemies. Love God above and beyond everything. He's number one. You quit hating people. That's a whole other version. But look, here's my point. We'll read it then. If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. Remember John, who wrote this, also wrote 1st, 2nd, 3rd John. You should. He really preaches and knows about what I'm going to say here. Do you remember what Jesus' commandments are? Love God and love others. Right? He said, if you believe in me, if you really believe in me, you'll do these two things. You'll keep these two things. How many people do you know? Yeah, that's going to be a big number. Think about it. It's people you know who call themselves Christians, who claim to quote-unquote believe in Jesus, and guess what? They really don't love God as first. And more overwhelmingly, they don't even love their enemies. They're full of hate. And guess what? I'm glad I didn't like it. John says in 1 John, he says, anybody that does that, anybody says they're a liar. Anybody says I love God, but I hate my brother. I mean, they don't say that. Anyone who says I love God, but really they hate people. John, that wrote this, says they're liars. Love's not even in them.